So this young man needed some assistance on the side of the road, ran out of gas. So y'all, this is what we do in the country. We help each other out wherever we can. So we went back home. We were leaving, headed out for the day, and he was walking down the side of the road. Kind of asked if we had a gas can, and y'all know, like, we stay prepared for a lot of things. So we had some gas for the generator, and so we went back to the homestead. We grabbed some gas, and now we're trying to get him as much gas in his vehicle as possible. There, we don't have gas stations out here nearby, so it was unfortunate that he ran out of gas. But this is where you have opportunity to do good for people, help people out. And, sometimes you got to stop all that talking. There's a lot of people that like to talk, but put into action to really, truly help your neighbors out. We all know this man from a can of paint, but we're able to kind of help him out. And as you can see, they're working together, making a makeshift funnel so that we can get more gas in the car than being wasted. So yeah, this is an opportunity to do good. If you've never done anything for anybody who can't really pay you back, you haven't done anything. This is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be helping each other out. He lives a couple of miles from us. We've never met before, but right now, here's the opportunity to do something good. So when you find those opportunities, you just have to go ahead and do it. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, I'm going to give you some things that you may want to consider for a survival emergency garden. So if you saw my last video, I told you guys about the strike that was going to happen with the longshoremen. It happened. We've moved past it, but in the area that I live in, and as I'm passing through, sometimes I stop at different stores before I get home. I have been definitely noticing that there are some things that are missing from the grocery stores. We only have like one super center or superstore that is in our area, and then the rest of them are regular size grocery stores and different country stores that are put out in places where they are really, really rural. So I definitely took that into consideration. But this is where I shop. And so I definitely have noticed the differences. I'm having to go to 2 and 3 different stores, even in a city that's probably double the size ours, but that's between us and Tallahassee. I noticed that in the produce section, there are absolutely shortages there. Even trying to find certain apples in those stores, I had to go to several stores in order to do so. Stay tuned. I'm going to take you guys through some of the things that we grow for our emergency gardening and some additional things that you may want to consider. Stay tuned and watch to the end of the video so that you can get all of the information that you need to start your emergency garden. So the first thing on my list for a survival garden has always been citrus. This particular tree is a rain pure lime, and this was one that I saw on like a Rare Foods channel several years back, and I always said that if I ever had the opportunity to get one of these lime trees, that I was going to get it. And so This is a unique one because, as you can see, the lime actually turns an orange color. And this is because the lime is a blend of an orange and a lime, but it tastes like an orange and a lemon. So I decided that day to go ahead and pull off one in order to test this fruit out. But I don't need to even say why this is so important to have in your survival garden, and it's my number one, simply because this is one of those things that can be used as medicine, and it can also be used as food. And so I decided to sample it on camera just to see if this was anything like that Rare Foods channel mentioned. And so here it is. All right, so here's the Rain Pure Lime. Let's see what it tastes like. It's not even as bitter as I thought it was going to be. They were making it seem like it was so extremely bitter, but I guess I kind of like sour stuff anyway. I like a combination of sweet and sour.
You trying to say I'm sour?
I ain't say nothing. Not bad. Not bad. Okay, now at the bottom part where it's more orange, this definitely tastes like a cross between a lime and an orange. It definitely, this is an orange, except the orange is bitter like a lemon. I like this a lot. Okay, it's done. It's a wrap. We ate it all. This is good. It actually tastes like a orange with a lemon blend. That's what it tastes like. An orange with a lemon. So yeah, we did it in. Me ain't gonna never. Look at how humongous this tree has grown. Now this is our papaya tree. And I'm not sure if I did a video or Eco Neighbor did a video when we first put this in the ground, but this was a 2-foot tall tree that we got from Lowe's a few months back. And between then and now, this is how tall this tree has gone. Look at that, the bark on this tree. It is humongous. I love this tree because hands down, this is one of the fastest trees that we have ever grown. So I highly recommend putting this tree in your emergency garden. You can use the leaves, you can use the seeds, and you can eat the fruit. That is the type of thing that we want in our emergency garden. Get the papaya tree in your life. If you're in a zone where you can grow trees that are tropical in nature, get the papaya tree. We decided to make a quick detour at the Tractor Supply on our way home and look at this fig tree. Doesn't it look a lot like the papaya? Yeah, it does. But take a look at this fig tree and look at all of the figs. I love the way that they trim this tree so that the figs can have more energy to go ahead and produce rather than producing so many leaves. But the fig tree is very nutritionally dense, full of fiber, so they are amazing for you, and you can use the leaves for tea. Here's a cutting that we have out on our property. And so here's another fig that we have on the homestead. This is a celestial. It has grown really fast, and we put it in a space where it can get nice and big and bushy. So we're gonna do a little more trimming to it to probably propagate a couple more pieces off of this fig tree as well. The next item I can recommend for the emergency survival garden is some lettuce. It is really simple to grow, even from seed. You can grow different types of lettuce. This is romaine, and as y'all know, we had a lot of issue with romaine with bacteria and stuff on it, and the store had to be under recall. So I highly suggest that you grow your own lettuce. It is super simple. You can water it with rice water, with banana water, with coffee grounds, any of that type of stuff to get it to grow and keep producing for your family so that you can have nice fresh salad and not have to worry about things like salmonella being on it or any type of bacteria that comes from the poop of humans and animals. Now, the next item is an eggplant. This is the Ichiban type eggplant. If you are a veggie lover, I highly recommend growing this. We had cut this down. We had cut all of this down. We mowed it down to the ground, and these plants actually came back. We were not trying to grow anymore. We were over it with the summer bugs that were really just taking over. And here we are today picking eggplants off of these plants, and it keeps coming. It just keeps coming after these were flat on the ground. So this is another item that I highly recommend for your survival garden. If you want something that's going to just keep coming back, you can take this and stir fry it. You can make dips with it. You can do all types of stuff. You can even fry it like fried green tomatoes, whatever you want to do with an eggplant. As you can see, there are weeds everywhere because we had cut this down. We were not trying to grow more eggplant yet. We're having to harvest more. So highly recommend for your survival emergency garden. And now look at this collard plant. This is in the same garden, and it was just convinced that we were not going to kill it. We had mowed all of this stuff down because we're restarting this garden for the fall, but collards, highly recommended, very nutritional, and grow very well with those same types of waters that I mentioned earlier in the video. The collards can grow all through the cold season as well. It's also really smart to consider the herbs that you grow in your garden. This is lemongrass, and lemongrass is really good for the cold and flu season. So if you're going to be fighting fevers, the colds, when the big pandemic came through, this is one of the things that we always kept on hand. A lot of the island friends said that this is what they were fighting the pandemic with lemongrass. And so definitely for your tinctures and absolutely for making teas, super easy to grow. For this particular video, I'm going to skip over the potatoes. Of course, that is something that you can grow, but right now we need to be focused on getting our leafy greens in the ground. They don't take a terribly long time to grow. So any type of leafy green vegetables that you have, the bugs are pretty much gone at this point. We still have a few stragglers that are hanging around, but the worms that will eat these up, they are pretty much dormant at this point. And it is now the time where you can go ahead and get your leafy greens into the ground. And we'll talk about tomatoes at a later date. We'll talk about potatoes at a later date. Sweet potatoes are one of those things. White potatoes, they are very hardy. They are super easy to grow. Put them in some soil, some composted soil, and let them just take off. But look at these Japanese red mustards. If you've never had them, I absolutely love the Japanese red mustards. They grow nice, and you can harvest them young. You can wait till they get a little bit bigger so that you can make big pots of greens if you have a big family and like to cook a lot like we do. A lot of these things only take between 30 days and 60 days to come to full harvest, even growing them from seed. So definitely consider some of the leafy greens at this time of the year. They'll be way easier if you're a beginner gardener to grow those things. So definitely have those on hand. Your kale as well. This is super, super easy to grow, guys, and look, 50 days to harvest. So definitely take into consideration some of the leafy things right now you want to get in the ground. Your onions, your garlic. So it's going to take them about 8-9 months to come to maturity, but absolutely, these are some things that you want to have in your emergency garden. We have to get this thing done now, guys, because it's so important with the new election coming up. There is a lot of unknowns. I know there are always unknowns, But if we can avoid being caught off guard, that is absolutely what we want to do. So I hope this was helpful to get you thinking about some other things. If you have some suggestions on some things that we can grow at this time of the year for our emergency garden, especially things that are going to grow fast, go ahead and drop them in the comment section. And I look forward to seeing your comments, and I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching, and be sure to share this out so that other people will see what they can put in their emergency garden and just get the conversation started.